He
Don't
said
worry
easy
about what
work,
he said.
easy money. Do you
Don't
agree?
worry about what there's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
He believes in me.
Yeah,
he
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that.
Have you ever seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing but their parents believe in them?
I'm going in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through wars.
This is what I'm gonna say. I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry, and I'm still here ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident in that.
Anthony Joshua has delivered a calm yet firm message to Jake Paul, emphasizing that he's approaching their fight not as a media personality, but as a seasoned heavyweight champion who brings years of top-level experience into the ring.
It's not just the punches you see, it's the feinting, it's the distance, it's the, oh my God, I threw that jab. Yeah, the intangibles. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the intangibles in that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said there's a few things that I'm going to do in the ring that he might not have seen before, and I'm going to see how he deals with them.
Yeah.
Always have a lot to say, but both of us have some of the biggest knockouts of the past years in boxing, and we're coming to fight. We made it smaller gloves just now today, so someone's getting put to sleep.
He points out that the kind of confidence shaped by elite training, major title fights, and high-stakes moments isn't something someone can instantly acquire when moving from the entertainment world into professional boxing.
I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire. Every time I've been knocked down or been in trouble when I was younger, came back 3 years later, got to the Olympics, get in trouble again before the Olympics, 3 years later, become world champion after 16 fights, win all the belts, get beat by Ruiz, come back and unify the division for the second time. It's just constantly drives my focus and my hunger to get better. So I'm going to be a tough man to break down 100% come December 19th because I've been building myself over the last year. I ain't been sitting back. I've been working.
Joshua says his camp has been centered on sharpening the basics, tightening up his punch combinations, and working closely with elite coaches so that nothing Jake Paul does will catch him off guard. To him, this fight isn't about the buzz surrounding it, it's about showcasing the massive contrast between someone still learning the sport and a fighter who's already proven himself at the highest level. He believes his performance will make that difference impossible to miss.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming that can put him to sleep 1000%.
Echoing broader concerns voiced by fighters and commentators, Conor McGregor offers his candid take, acknowledging that Jake Paul earns respect merely for taking on a challenge of this magnitude. Yet, McGregor warns that respect doesn't eliminate the danger. He emphasizes that boxing is ruthless, and facing a physically imposing heavyweight like Anthony Joshua carries genuine risk, far beyond any media spotlight or social media buzz.
I mean, he's gonna get knocked out by AJ though, isn't
he? If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. Very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's you think he's a happy and he's a good thing. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. In my opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead. However, if he does it, I'll give him the respect.
McGregor paints Joshua as a true powerhouse, with crushing punches and a fierce, aggressive edge that only seasoned fighters have felt firsthand. In his view, very few men can endure what Joshua delivers when fully locked in, and he even questions whether the fight should take place given the potential for serious damage. Still, McGregor concedes that if Jake Paul chooses to step into the ring, that act of courage deserves recognition, even if the result seems almost painfully predictable.
I don't want to ask you about a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua because I think a lot of people know what will happen, but is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be even taken on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit, the body is not meant to be hit, the head is not meant to be, the brain is not meant to be shook.
Building on McGregor's concerns about risk and legitimacy, veteran boxing journalist Gareth E. Davies shares a similarly cautious perspective while breaking down what makes the Joshua vs. Jake Paul fight such a bizarre yet globally compelling event. Speaking from Dubai, he notes that despite the heavy promotion, many in the boxing world still find it hard to accept that this matchup is actually happening, at least until both fighters step into the spotlight during fight week. Davies acknowledges Jake Paul's boldness in taking on the challenge, but he also underscores the stark reality of what facing Joshua entails.
A tick in the box and signing the contract straight away. Readily, you cannot see a victory for Jake Paul. I mean, you can't. I do worry about his safety in there. I do know that it wouldn't have been licensed in the UK. Even today, people are throwing conjecture on the fact that Jake Paul hurt his eye. He said it was Lawrence Okoli punched him in sparring and that the fight is off. People are almost looking for a reason for it to be off. I've been there myself in the last couple of weeks as well. I mean, I cannot believe, until I see them in fight week and until we witness it, I won't believe it's truly happening, if I'm honest.
Matching a relatively inexperienced boxer against a former unified heavyweight champion is the sort of bout that would never get approved in more stringent boxing jurisdictions like the UK. Davies notes that even promoters appear to be looking for reasons to cancel the fight, referencing speculation around Jake Paul's recent eye injury in sparring. He also stresses that this isn't merely a spectacle. The heavyweight division remains perilous, and every punch carries genuine risk, regardless of fame or social media following. At the same time, he recognizes that the matchup is likely to draw record-breaking attention and offers Joshua a remarkably straightforward path for a comeback.
And as I spoke with Nikisa Badarin and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back, if Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of boxing. The biggest shock ever. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in the whole of sport. Some people will question whether this really is sport. You know, you can deem it to be circus, you can deem it to be freak show. Spoke to David Hay for an interview in the Telegraph that's going in tomorrow, I think. And he was saying, you know, if he'd been offered this all those years ago and he was in the same position as Anthony Joshua, he said, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even given it any consideration. It would have been a tick in the box.
Davies points out that the burden of expectation rests squarely on Joshua. Should the fight extend beyond the opening minutes, critics are likely to question his mindset, and if anything goes seriously wrong, boxing itself could face scrutiny for allowing the bout to be sanctioned. Meanwhile, as the debate over the legitimacy and risk of Joshua versus Jake Paul rages on, analyst Wade Plemons delves deeper into what's unfolding in Jake Paul's training camp, and the signs aren't particularly reassuring. Plemons notes that Jake has been sporting a visible black eye from recent heavyweight sparring sessions, especially against Lawrence Okoli, a much larger and more seasoned fighter whose jab and left hook replicate the kind of threats Joshua is expected to bring.
Like Lawrence Okoli, and especially if it's your right eye, if Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye, And it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty lead.
Clemens notes that while training with larger partners is meant to acclimate Jake Paul to the range and intensity of a true heavyweight, the visible bruising suggests he's struggling to avoid the kind of shots he'll inevitably face on fight night. He emphasizes that at this level, a single clean punch, even in sparring, reveals critical insights about timing, defense, and vulnerability, all of which could become decisive once the gloves are smaller, the lights are brighter, and every error is magnified. Clemens also examines Joshua's mindset through press conference footage and training clips, observing that he appears intensely focused, already on weight, and motivated by the plan to apply relentless pressure. Jake's efforts to frame the size disparity as an advantage are met with skepticism, as Clemens highlights that Joshua's reach, strength, and ring experience will place Jake in situations he has never truly encountered before.
This is the worst I've seen Jake look after sparring or at any time during his camps, and maybe there's been times where he's not on camera, but you can tell the levels are higher and the risk is higher and the danger is higher this time around because of how his eye looks. He's probably getting hit harder, getting up worse in sparring than he ever has. Now, he has said that the heavyweights he's sparring, it's actually easier for him and he's not getting hit as much, but that black eye is not the same indication as to what he's saying. So either he's embellishing a bit and this is harder than he thought, or harder than in anything else he's ever done as far as the sparring, the training for this match, or he got caught with something big and that's the only big shot.
Clemens argues that the stakes extend well beyond winning or losing. The physical toll could be severe if Jake Paul is unable to handle the pace and power of a former unified heavyweight champion. While he commends Jake's courage and ambition, Clemens underscores that the significant gap in elite experience, coupled with limited time to master heavyweight fundamentals, makes this one of the riskiest ventures of Jake Paul's career. Even after recognizing Jake's bravery, concerns remain, precisely where former UFC title challenger Darren Till weighs in. Drawing from decades in combat sports, Till emphasizes that while anyone willing to face danger deserves respect, certain realities cannot be avoided. With more than 20 years honing his skills in MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing, Till admits he would not personally volunteer to fight Anthony Joshua under professional rules. From his perspective, Jake Paul may be chasing history, but the disparity in size, power, and world-class experience makes the matchup hard to justify as a genuinely competitive fight. Till adds that without serious behind-the-scenes safety measures, Jake is entering a scenario where his physical well-being is at real risk.
Jake Paul could get seriously hurt in there, couldn't he?
Yeah, look, Anthony Joshua is one of the biggest, strongest heavyweights out there. I've sparred a few heavyweights who come down the gym. One was being a guy called the War Chief. He was massive. He looked like John Coffey from Game Island. No, he didn't punch me around, but every time he hit me, even when he hit me forward, I just felt like this thunder hit me, and I was like, and that's why we have weight classes. That's why you have your lightweight, your welterweight, and from that we can all go up and down a little bit, but we can't make jumps like that. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Jake could get fucking killed in there.
As we close, it's clear that voices across the combat sports world, from world champions to MMA veterans to seasoned analysts, are sending the same message. This fight is historic, but it comes with enormous risk. Anthony Joshua brings genuine heavyweight power, years of elite training, and a no-nonsense mindset. Jake Paul enters with ambition, bold confidence, and a willingness to stake everything on his legacy. That tension is exactly why everyone's watching. Maybe Jake pulls off an upset. Or maybe the realities of stepping into the ring with a true heavyweight hit him like a sledgehammer. Either way, it's a moment that could leave a lasting mark on boxing. Now it's over to you. Can Jake survive a clean shot from Joshua, or does this whole experiment end the instant a real heavyweight connects? Jump into the comments and let the debate unfold. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Boxing Stories for more. See you next time.